Everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder, sitting in for my man Rodney Perry, who's on set. You know what? If you're not familiar with this is the show where we talk a lot about sports with comedians. So let's jump into it because we got a lot to talk about today. First up is my man Talent. Talent, how you doing today, bro? How's everything?
I'm good, my brother. How you doing today?
I'm all right. I could complain, but nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. So
Nobody that counts.
Yeah, that's true. Also, let me bring in my man Mike Sean. Mike, you in Dallas? All the way to Dallas?
I'm on the East Coast, homie. I'm over here.
My man Mike
in
Sean,
Jersey. Yeah.
My man in the East Coast. Also, since we talking about the East Coast, let me bring in my man A-Rock Silly, Mr. Amir A-Rock Silly. Amir, thank you for sitting in for Fig. I appreciate you, bro. How you doing?
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm good. How you gentlemen today?
All right, man, we got a lot to talk about, man. I'm going to dive in real first because I always give a COVID report first. And I'm going to first start this thing off first. And I want to talk about this game more in depth, but because we could talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs game, man, there was one part that wasn't talked about that was huge to me, like huge. And nobody really talked about it a lot. Amari Cooper did not play in the game. Of course, CeeDee Lamb got knocked out the game, but he didn't play in the game because he got COVID. Now, the people in Dallas are all upset. I was reading a couple of things this morning in Dallas, how upset they are. Bro, Talent, they are upset because Amari Cooper, not only did he not play in the game, bro, he didn't get his COVID shot. So we back to that all over again. You know what I mean? He didn't get his COVID
Wait a minute. The vaccine?
he didn't get his COVID vaccine shot. And people in Dallas are saying that he's one of the reasons why it cost him the game because Dallas could have used him. Now, I ain't gonna lie, they could have used him because their offense wasn't moving like it should have been moving. But Talent, man, what's your take on Amari Cooper choosing not to get the COVID shot, got COVID, and then couldn't play in this game, and won't be able to play in the game Thursday? He's out this whole week, bro.
Well, I mean, my take is, first of all, one thing has nothing to do with the other. Because, Frank, if he did get his vaccine shot, you still can get COVID and get sick. And if he still got COVID after the shot, he just happened to get some symptoms and, because of COVID protocol, had to sit out anyway. Ain't about the shot or not. You know what I mean? It's about getting COVID or not.
Great.
Because
what?
You get sick either way, and you come up positive either way.
You know what? You're absolutely a great point. But I will just say this. If he did get a shot, I don't think he'd be out as long. You know what I mean? I think he might have been able to possibly play for Thursday. But you're right. Can't knock what you're saying. You're absolutely right about that part because you still could get sick.
I mean, they have a time protocol. So no matter what, if that's a week or 6 days, you got to do the protocol.
Right, but I think if he had got COVID already and he got a shot, I think it's down to like 5 days if you have your shot versus 10 to 15 days if you don't have your shot. I think that's what it is. So that's why I think he's out 2 games and possibly could be 3. But Mike, all the people down there in Dallas, man. I know you hear, and I know you got people who are your friends in Dallas. I know everybody up there is all upset. I know everybody's up there giving you the business. We're going to jump into the game in a minute, but what's your take on Amari Cooper not getting his shot, not being able to play in the game?
Look, all y'all people who are obsessed with this COVID, what's my opinion? So, you missed the game. I'm tired of trying to feed into everybody's outrage and all. Y'all know what it is. The NFL plays by their rules. The NFL doesn't tell us who's not vaccinated, and we find out when they get COVID. Okay, he misses 2 games. That's what it is. Aaron Rodgers would have missed 2 games, but he got lucky because it fell. The Cowboys have a quick turnaround playing Thanksgiving, so that's why he's going to miss 2 games. And yeah, it did affect the game, but suck it up, y'all. Some people gonna take the vaccine, some people not. This ain't gonna be the first or the last time. And the NFL is so screwy about how this goes. They were scared to mandate it. So this is what we're gonna do.
You know what, man? Mike is absolutely right, bro, because you don't find out until it comes to the point where it comes to head when you actually need the dude and the dude can't show up for the big game. So I ain't gonna lie. I didn't even know Amari Cooper didn't even have the vaccine. I thought, that was the farthest thing from my mind. But when I'm sitting there watching the big game and Amari Cooper's not out and CeeDee Lamb gets out and then they can't move the ball, Amir, I'm upset because I'm a Dallas fan. I'm upset because I want to see an equal game. You know what I mean? So that way you can say, especially Cowboys fans, Amir, talk to me, bro.
Well, we always want to see all things be fair and, teams, like you said, go out there with all of their best players so that we can not have excuses for sometimes why we lose. But let's be clear. The team that Dallas played yesterday played better. They made more plays in the final analysis. And that's really what it boiled down to. It's not that, Dallas didn't make plays. It's just the other team made more plays. That's one. Two, something else that
Go ahead, Mir.
this whole thing is, and I know this only because I heard them say it at the end of the Pittsburgh game. Ben Roethlisberger did get vaccinated, and he still caught COVID. So to Talent's point, does it all make a difference? Look, guys got to show up and play the game. If anybody watched that Chargers game yesterday, even the announcer said it. The guys who were the stars of the Chargers game, does anybody know those guys' names for real?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The funny thing is, in the middle of Amir talking, obviously a phone call was coming in, messed the sound up. But you see his face at that call, whoever that was. Amir said, oh, shit.
Talent don't never miss no comedy. But
it's too funny. It's too funny.
Amir looked like he was Kyrie Irving, and the phone call was from vaccination.
He was mid-sentence. Oh, shit. They found me.
Kyrie Irving and the CDC's calling on live. All right, man. Let's jump into this, man, because everybody's talking about this LeBron James situation, man, and the Lakers had such a strange weekend. Talent. The Lakers lost to the Celtics. They got blown out on Friday, and I'm gonna mention this for a reason. They lose on Friday. They're losing Sunday. They have this big fight. This big skirmish and everything else. And then I'm gonna get to my question in a second. I got two questions with this. First question I'm gonna ask all you all, then I have a second question. First question I'm gonna ask you, Talent, is that forget about the fight. With being that the fight happened, do you think that this could be something that could ignite the Lakers to start to turn things around? Because if you watch the game or you even heard about the game, the Lakers were losing by 15 and then end up blowing these dudes out. They got so angry, so upset, they end up blowing the Pistons out. They literally blew the doors off them, and they were playing efficient basketball. And to be honest with you, bro, I watched a little bit on NBA TV. I hadn't seen them play that well all year, bro. So could that be the thing that sparked the team for the whole year, or was that the game, or what's your take on that, man?
I think it's what we call in the moment. I don't think it's going to be a year thing or many games thing. I think it's in that moment. Any competition, any level of competition has these things. Any real man knows I'm not lying that's ever competed in anything. I don't care if it's checkers. The minute somebody feels disrespected or back against the wall or your manhood tested, so to speak, you bring out whatever's in there. Whatever that extra oomph is that's in there, if it's in there, it's going to bring it to the top. It's going to drive it right to the top. And there's no ifs and buts about it. So at that moment in time, LeBron's probably been getting away with so many inadvertent and accidental hits and all types of things where you just look at you and be like, my bad. But this dude is from Rochester.
I'm gonna come back to the game itself in a second, but I want to ask you, Mike.
Hold on, let me tell you. Y'all laugh. This is the mentality up there, right, from the hood. This happened in a tweet. One dude up there who has a nice little follower on the gram and Twitter tweeted. The tweet was, "Yeah, this is the dopest thing I ever seen coming from somebody that's from the Rock." He said, "This is like it's like me going one-on-one with Jay-Z." This is the thought process.
I saw that tweet.
Forget that his career may be over. Forget the amount of stitches this man got to. The fact that he got to swing on LeBron James. Yes, we made it, Rochester.
Yeah, a 20-year-old. Yeah, that's how he's taking it too. That's how I take. But Mike, I'm gonna ask you the exact same question. But do you honestly think that this could be something that could ignite the Lakers and to get them to play a whole complete camaraderie? Because let's be honest, sometimes teams take a turn. 2004 Red Sox do this. The 2008 Dodgers, they go on a run. The Milwaukee Bucks go on a run with Kareem, with the big. I mean, you go through history, that major fight happens middle season, and it literally turns the team around. I don't care how you think, whether it's basketball, hockey, whatever. What you think, Mike?
I think it does. It can, like talents. It's hard to keep that type of intensity up, like just off of that. But I think what happened was the Lakers have been getting disrespected by young teams. Like they've been really getting cats have been coming at their neck and talking and whatever. And I think yesterday or whenever it was this weekend, I think it triggered something. And I will give Russell Westbrook one thing. he always does act like he want to fight. Like he was away from the skirmish and he ran over there, and I think it kind of got everybody like, dog, we've been getting disrespected, but it's one thing to lose. It's another thing for a 20-year-old to say he's gonna go in LeBron's mouth now. Like, and
the mouth.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother level where people had to wake up and be like, dog, you know, this is serious. Like, people are really ishing on us for real. The funny thing about the dude is that when they finally got him after they broke it up 7 times, and he started rushing to people that wasn't even LeBron. Like, he wasn't even going at LeBron anymore. The funny thing is when he took him to the tunnel, he ran through the tunnel as if he had a secret passage that was gonna get him to LeBron. Like there was some wall he was gonna knock on 4 times, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it was gonna open up. He was gonna magically be in the locker room with LeBron. Dog, what do you? If everybody, I wish one day this would never happen. I wish one day everybody would stop trying to break everything up and just part seas, right? Like, what you gonna do?
Let it happen. Half these dudes will rethink it.
Yeah.
A lot of the rah-rahs because you know somebody's there to stop it. Like you said, he broke it up 6 times. On the 5th time, he rushed the ball boy.
I don't care what nobody says, Amir. I don't care what nobody says. I wouldn't be scared of Russell Westbrook running at me with no blouse on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't.
And Russell Westbrook run at you, be like this. I'm not going with you to the prom. No.
I mean, we should take it. Amir, the question is, you heard the question, Amir. What should take?
Well, I think, again, this is one of those moments where you hope that something like this can, bring the team together. It's sad that something like this has to be the thing to spark them. You would think that, to Mike's point about them being disrespected, especially by a lot of the younger teams in the league at this particular point, that they would go out there, as I said, or at least I thought that they would do. I thought that they would be the elder statesmen who go out there and show, like when I was coming up. You went to the park and you always wanted to play against the older guys because they made you better. They forced you to, have to really work on your game and to bring your A game, because they knew little tricks and things that you don't know yet because you're young and all you're going off of is energy and athleticism. But they know how to position themselves and do all kind of stupid stuff that when as you get older, you learn those tricks as well. And I thought that the Lakers were going to be using a lot of that going into the season. Now they also have been, hit with injury and all that stuff. So, it's still a work in progress because they can't even get everybody on the court at the same daggone time. So we got to wait and see if and whenever that's going to happen.
That's a great point. But now that brings me to my second question, Talon. I'm going to start with this, man. Even though we all saw the fight, we saw how it happened, everything else, man. My question to you, Talon, is do you think LeBron James should be suspended? Do you think, honestly, that if you do think he should be suspended, how long do you think it should be? And I'm going to say this before I start this out with you, Talon. I don't think he should be suspended more than 1 game. I think Isiah Stewart caused more of it than actually what it was happening. You know what I mean? I think he should be suspended more gigs. I heard what Stephen A said, and I was like, Stephen's kind of right about that part. That's my take. LeBron should maybe get 1 or 2 games. Stewart should get maybe 3 or 4 games because he kept it going on and on.
Yeah, but blood is spilled, man. Blood is spilled. Once you spill blood, you change all the semantics. I say this: a game per stitch. So if he got 8 stitches.
You're so ridiculous, Sean. You're so ridiculous. Oh, you're just.
Can you imagine? But can you imagine if the league start doing little tough shit like that? 16 stitches, 16 games. All jokes aside, I think that's a 1 game, 2 game at best. You know what I mean? 1, 2 game at best. I'm not mad. Anything over that, then you're kind of feeding the fire. You know what I mean? Obviously, whatever he gets, I give the other guy double. So if I give him 2, I give him 4, because like you said, the antagonizing after the fact, and then you got so crazy. Like you said, 1 time, 2 times, but 5, 6 times, bro, you're a blemish on the game now. You're a black eye.
Yeah, because it made the league look really bad the way he kept charging everybody. He was running. Listen, he literally looked like he was a running back, breaking over through through a lot of these assistant coaches and everything else. It was a real bad look for the league. That's number one. Number two, Mike, it was in Detroit. Isn't there the malice in the palace? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God, bro, like you not know your own team history. Like, talk to me. What you think?
There's the only reason. I don't know why, but maybe because I can't sleep at night. I've watched like 3 or 4 Piston games. Nobody watches Piston games on purpose. But the crazy thing is the reason why this got stuck in my head is because he's had like 2 other incidents during the game where he's fully overreacted. There's been like 2 other times I've seen him wild out like this over like a hard foul, and everybody's got to grip him and grab up, but nobody said anything. Why? Because nobody sees the Piston games other than the Pistons. Nobody watches them, so they don't even know. They don't know why. They don't know. So I think they got to give him a game or 2 just because of his reaction. And you got to suspend LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I try and defend LeBron, but dog, like you did split his face open, dog. Like, I mean, you know, like I know you said sorry, but you just can't say sorry after you split somebody's face open. You said
sorry.
He was like this, my bad. No, my bad. I'm bleeding a lot.
Man, let's be honest. LeBron was getting pushed, and his reaction was like you know what I mean, like almost like get off me. I think the elbow came high by mistake. I don't think he purposely threw an elbow to throw an elbow. I think he was more like shrugging him to get off because he was being pushed.
I don't think he did as well.
Split second, you know what I mean? Amir, should LeBron James be suspended because what happened after effect, or should the NBA take a closer look and say like he purposely didn't throw that elbow? What you think?
Well, I think they're gonna have to suspend him a game just for optics, or a game or 2 just for optics. Let's be clear. You got to send a message to the entire league, whether you're LeBron, Steph Curry, or any of the other greats in the league at this particular time. Certain things won't be tolerated. The other something that, you know, and we talk about this to, no end sometimes, especially with today's athletes, based off of what Mike shared with us just a second ago. Maybe this young man has mental issues. And I'm not saying that as a, knock to him or giving him a pass behind it. What I'm saying is that may be something that they really need to visit and see if they can help this young man, because this situation happened to be LeBron, but let's just say it's, a lesser star in the league, and he gets gets the chance to tee off or to, get out everything that, really seems to be bothering him. It could get really ugly, and the malice in the palace not only be a thing in the past, but now they'll have a new situation to have to really deal with. So they might have to check to see if this kid has some real mental issues, and see if they can get him some help.
Yeah, but if what Mike said is true, if he's done it 3 or 4 times, he's charged people and everything else, I don't think he'll be able to get another contract, bro. I just don't see it. If he keeps continuously doing this, yeah, they want players like that out the league real quick. I don't see it,
Yeah.
But let's talk about the biggest game of the weekend, man, because we talked about it for a hot second at the beginning during the COVID report. The Chiefs played the Cowboys, man, and I was upset at one thing. I wanted the Cowboys to give it a better game talent. I just thought it'd be a better game. CeeDee Lamb was helping them and everything else. Number one offense versus the team of last week. You know what I mean? Like Cowboys is this year's hot team. Chiefs been the last 2 years hot team. I was kind of surprised the way the Chiefs handled the Cowboys, but then I realized they didn't have a lot of players. What do you think? What was your takeaway from the Chiefs versus the Cowboys? Because that was a big game. I don't think anybody expected it to be like that. I don't know, man. What was your take, Count, when you saw this?
Well, I like the game. I just thought I expected way more. Even reflected in my betting sheets and everything like that. I'm taking the Cowboys. Whoever's home, I'm taking the other team's points. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be a tight one. You know what I mean? Pause. But I just thought that they didn't give us all that they could have gave us. But again, like you, I also didn't know a lot of the players were missing out of the game. So it kind of changed the whole dynamic of the game. I think the Chiefs are slowly creeping back to the Chiefs as we know them. And I think once they're no longer injured, I think by come playoffs at the end of the year, we're going to see old Chiefs back, I think.
Yeah, I think you should have. But let me ask you, Mike, you paid more attention to the Cowboys than any of us, man. I got to say one thing. The Cowboys' offensive line looked horrible last night. To me, horrible. The Chiefs' defense, either the Chiefs' defense looked that good or the offensive line of the Cowboys looked that bad. I can't, I don't watch the Cowboys like you do. You tell me more than what you say. And then on top of that, what happened to the big, the vaunted Cowboys defense everybody was supposed to be talking about? What happened to Micah Parsons? What happened to the safeties and everybody was talking about for the whole year? You tell me, am I tripping, Mike? Talk to me. Am I tripping?
The offensive line is hurt. And I hate when I forget somebody's name because he's a Hall of Fame offensive lineman. He's out, and they've got 2 injuries on the offensive line. The defense did what they were supposed. Micah Parsons, he's already got 9 sacks for the season. He had 2 yesterday. Like they held the Chiefs to 19 points. If you hold the Chiefs to 19 points, you're supposed to be in the game to win the game. What happened is that I didn't even notice. I think we just take the narrative that the Chiefs defense is weak. The last 4 games, they've held their opponents to like 15 points a game.
Right.
Like all of a sudden that this team is coming. Spagnola's got them blitzing. He made Dak Prescott super uncomfortable. And when that blitzing started coming, we forget that as well as Dak was playing, he's still coming off a tremendous injury. His mobility isn't what it used to be. So when they start blitzing him, he's really looking to get rid of this ball. He's not trying to run, and they weren't letting him do it. For some reason, their running game, they decided, Mr. Kellen Moore decided that they was going to pass the ball 30 times, even though they got Ezekiel playing and they got Pollard in the backfield. Even Troy Aikman was yelling at. But I want to thank the Kansas City defense because not only did I win the under on the game, the under was 56, and I did get the under. And I picked Kansas City. But let me tell you something. In this league, when you put a blueprint on a team on how to stop them, and the rest of the league catches on to that, I promise you, Thanksgiving, the Raiders will be blitzing the hell out of Dak Prescott Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. The blitzing was crazy last night. The Chiefs blitzed. The Chiefs blitzed the Cowboys more than I've seen them blitzed all year. And now the Cowboys have lost 2 of their last 3 games, bro. And now the Cowboys ended up getting ready to face the Raiders, and the Raiders have got some kind of revenge on it because the Raiders just lost too. So the Raiders are trying to make sure that they come back, and they're playing on Thanksgiving. I'm curious to find out what your thoughts are on the Chiefs and the Cowboys and the trajectories of where you think they're going. Because I think the Chiefs are going one way, and honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I think the Cowboys not getting ready to go the other way. What's your take on this, Amir, on the game?
I think there's some validity to that. I think again, we knew that the Chiefs are a great team. Let's be clear. They've been in the Super Bowl the last few years, and they're one of the teams to beat no matter what. They just didn't seem to have their whole situation together. So we were all trying to figure out as we watched them this year, like what's going on. Every week they seem to be a new or a different team. But yesterday they looked like the team that we have known them to be over the last few seasons. The Cowboys, I hate to say this because, in the same division as my Giants. And like I said, I'm a Giants fan. But let's be clear. I keep saying this, and there's no disrespect to Dak Prescott and the Cowboys organization. They're great during the regular season. It's the playoffs that we always have to worry about. So I don't think that this is any different than what they normally would be under normal circumstances. The Cowboys have these moments where they show flashes of brilliance, and then they have these moments where you look at them and you be like, who are these guys? And yesterday was a who are these guys moment to me. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's what we're really looking at. They're still trying to figure out who they are and what they really want to represent.
Well, Amir, you might be in surprises tonight because if the Giants beat the Bucks tonight, now we're having a conversation. You know what I mean? If the Giants beat the Bucks and the Cowboys are going the opposite, now we're getting ready to say, oh wow, okay, there's 5 more games left. Now we're in a serious conversation about the NFC East and certain way that certain things are going to play out. And let's not forget, the Giants literally can beat the Bucks because Antonio Brown's not playing tonight either. For those of you out there who are betting, Antonio Brown's out the game, and that's Tom Brady's binky. Biggest upset of the weekend, talent, is my man. The guys came in. The Titans ended up getting upset, literally by the Houston Texans because Tyrod Taylor ends up coming in the game and literally
and he played his behind off.
He played. If there could be an MVP of the season for one day, it definitely had to be for Tyrod Taylor. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if you saw the game or you saw bits and pieces of the game. I did. I could not believe how the Titans went. Talent can't hear you, man.
I seen the highlights of it, but to me, it wasn't the biggest upset. Like I'm a New Yorker. The biggest upset was the Buffalo Bills.
Facts.
Facts. At home.
Facts.
We're gonna talk about that in a second.
5 touchdowns. So shout out to Tyrod Taylor. Excuse me if I can't get excited for that. Come in your house and whoop your ass 5 times in your house. A fumble on a kick return Man, listen. Anyway, it's a great game. Obviously, I was going for the other team, even though they're not fully stacked either. But the Texans, that's like I think the only thing that came close to that was the Jaguars when they got pulled up the upset. So yeah, it was a great. I put it at number 2 of upsets this week. And but what does this mean? That's what we got to ask ourselves. What does this mean for the Texans? Are we going to see? Because I always thought Tyrod Taylor was more than decent. He just was one of those stringy up and down quarterbacks that didn't have the opportunity, nor did he have the lines, places he went. So I think this is good confidence booster, if nothing else, for him. But I say the upset of the week, Indianapolis Colts going into Buffalo. That's crazy.
Yeah. I can't even front. That game, I watched the whole game because that was in my market for all you.
Here we go with this market.
I saw that game. You know what I mean? My NFL package was working.
My market, killing me, man.
It was in my market. I saw that. So, Mike, man, the Titans, man, like you just said in the last game, man, people showed the blueprint. Now, granted, the weather had a lot to do with the Titans losing because he threw a lot of picks and everything else, but they blitzed. They blitzed Ryan Tannehill a lot too. Also, they also showed they had the defense literally did a lot of things too. They didn't do man-to-man coverage a lot in the game and everything else. But I think that the Titans might be showing a little bit of kinks in their armor. Also, let's not forget Derrick Henry is not playing for them. So, Mike, do you think now the Titans are also showing, or is it Houston really that good and we just didn't know that?
No, Houston's not really that good. Let's just start with that. Let's just start with Houston's not really that good. This league is crazy, dog. You can't call these games no more. Like you just now Jonathan Taylor with the Colts. The one thing about the Colts, I know it was an upset, but Jonathan Taylor is a beast, dog. This guy is amazing, but you can't get shocked, dog. I've been shocked almost every week out of a game that you go like, how does this happen? Let me tell you how shocked I was when I found out Lamar Jackson wasn't going to play and the backup was a black man. I said, another one? I said, this is amazing. No, there was shocks all over the league. But that's why, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Buccaneers lost today to the Giants, especially because the spread is 11. I think the Giants may lose, but it'll be under 11. All right, maybe I'm betting the game. Who knows? Maybe I'm not.
So for the record, you weren't too surprised about the Titans losing to the Texans?
No, the Titans, I was surprised. But after the Jaguars pulled off a victory, and then the Lions tied the Steelers.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore. Like, honestly, the hardest thing about this league now is if your life is based on gambling, if your whole income is based, not your income talent, not your income. Your whole income is not based on, but if your whole income is based on gambling, stay away from the balcony. Just stay away from the balcony, dog.
Yeah. And if your neighbor's talent, come back. Come back. Don't jump.
These games is tough, yo. These games are ridiculous.
The NFL is not being laid out like we normally look at it and everything else. Game, you never know. This is the first year, in my opinion, that I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl. You might have somewhat of an inkling who might be able to get there, but the loss last night, like Titans being upset by the Texans, proves to me that on any given Sunday, anybody can win. That's my take.
Yes.
What's your take, man?
I absolutely agree. The fun thing is, this is crazy because I remember early this year before the season started, or early when the season started, Mike Sean made said that every team in the league is capable of at least 21 points. I mean, obviously there's been some games this year where that hasn't happened, but they are capable of it. So with that being said, like I said, it starts coming down to the small things. And when you see teams, in some cases, I know y'all watch, like you said, most of all of the games, but you got field goal kickers who are missing field goals.
Yeah.
You got cats who are missing extra points.
Man.
I mean, it's all kind of stuff. You got kicks that are being blocked, like all kind of interesting things that you're kind of watching games
Right.
like, goodness gracious, what's going on? So it really is coming down to a group of players who now are starting to make names for themselves, who we might not have heard of before on some of these teams because of the fact that there's injuries and because of the fact that maybe these guys are tired of being no-name, players or people that aren't household names. Let's put it that way. And they're starting to, come alive. But I have to say that game yesterday, I was a little shocked by it. I mean, I was shocked by it, but, again, any given Sunday, that's why I love football so much. That's why I
Yeah,
really
me
do love
too.
football.
Yo,
I love it. I
Frank,
love it.
Frank, things are
Go ahead,
so
Mike.
crazy now. Things are happening so crazy in the NFL that dudes are using that as why they didn't get vaccinated. But look, he missed the extra point. That's exactly why I didn't get vaccinated. That's exactly why I didn't get vaccinated. Because of shit like this right here. See?
Well, let me talk about the Bills, man, because the Buffalo Bills started out. They started out on a nice roll and everything else. People were literally every single person on ESPN, those ESPN pundits, picked the Bills to upset the Chiefs and go to the Super Bowl. And that was before the game started. And even though the Bills lost the first game, everybody, don't worry about it. But, bro, the Bills are now second place in the AFC East. They've now lost 3 games. I think 4 games. They lost 4 games.
I think it's 4.
Now they've come back down to earth and everything else. Talent. You were in the Buffalo market. You know all about what's going on in the Buffalo market. And people ready to jump off the bridge right up now in Buffalo. Or is Buffalo Bills show the real deal? We see it, or are they going to get better? Don't worry about it. What's your take, man?
Buffalo got bridges? No.
Plenty. Niagara Falls right there, bro.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Tell them get off that. Come back.
You're right.
They call it the Finger Lakes. We got all them lakes up there, the Finger Lakes. Let me say this. I think that people are not that bad, but they are not a loss. I mean, they can lose a game as long as they make the playoffs and make a run. They're not a loss away, but they are an upset away from losing it. If another team because this is the second one. This is the second upset, like real legitimate upset from a team that was supposed to be handed their ass easily. So one more of those, I think it tears apart the fabric of that fandom. You know what I mean? Bill Mafia is like they're hardcore. They like to steal curtain, all that. The fan base is crazy. But if one more upset like what we just seen yesterday, I think the fabric comes apart. That blanket is loose.
All right, but Mike, is Talent overlooking the fact that the Colts could literally be that good now? Frank Wright got that team clicking on all cylinders, man. But Carson Palmer is throwing darts now. I watched the game because it's in my market, comedian. I watched it. And Carson Palmer did not look like he sucked. Yes, like let's be honest, Mike. Let's be honest. Talk to me. What you think, man?
The Colts are good. The Colts they're a solid team. I just think the Buffalo, and it happens to everything in sports. Whenever you get too much praise early in the season, the drastic reactions that happen. That's why it's kind of like I do respect Bill Belichick on how he just consistently keeps doing the same thing every week. He doesn't. It's not. There are no highs and lows. We win. We lose the whole 9. Look, I was saying Josh Allen was going to be the MVP, and he's not. He's not going to be the MVP, y'all. He's not. And I had the Bills and the Cleveland Browns in the AFC Championship game. Guess what? They're not. It's not going to be the Bills. It's not going to be the Browns.
Neither one.
But this is exactly when I tell you, when you get too much praise in the beginning of the season, the expectations go up. This is why purposely when I do comedy shows, I don't do that good. What I do is I keep it like at a 7, right? Because ain't nothing worse than tearing something down. You get a standing ovation. Now people think they coming to every show. You getting a standing ovation. No, relax. Just take your time. Relax.
Well, Mike, you was right about the Cowboys, though. You've been saying that since before the Cowboys started. You might have missed on a couple, but you hit on a couple too. But Amir, Mike and Talent did mention about the Bills and everything else. But the Colts have the number 1 running back in the league. This kid was phenomenal yesterday. Like I was like, wow, you see, I forgot his name that fast, but the way this kid was cutting and doing some darts, and then he scored 5 TDs in one
5
game.
TDs, yeah.
Ooh, if you had him on that fantasy team, oh boy.
Yeah, 5 TDs in one game. I mean, talk to me. What was your recap of the Bills losing them to the Colts?
Well, I think the Bills, to something that Mike just said, and I think that this goes deeper than just this year. I think because they have been on the upswing over the last few seasons, they may be believing too much in their press clippings as opposed to showing up night in and night out and proving to the world, quote unquote, why that praise was given in the first place. One thing about being a sports figure or entertainer of sorts, sometimes the high of, people, giving you you the man or whatever, they go to your head, and then you stop doing all the things that you've been capable of doing or what got you there. And I think the Bills right now are a product of that. Those guys have forgotten that It was showing up hard work. It was showing up every game and doing all of the little things, not just the big things. Because when we watch these games, we see big plays, quarterbacks taking off, all these kinds of things, interceptions happening. But I feel like they have stopped doing all the little things. And when you stop doing all the little things, then you can fall just as fast as you roll. So we got to
Yeah,
wait
you
and
know
see
what?
if those guys rebound.
You know what? Little things in football means a lot because little things can make you win or lose. Speaking of little things, the Baltimore Ravens come in. They get a quarterback who played sporadically doing the little things because Lamar Jackson was sick a lot this season. He ended up playing, played more than people expected. And he comes in and beats the Chicago Bears with a pass with literally, 23 seconds left to go in the game. I was shocked. I thought Andy Dalton for the Bears. I thought they had that game. And again, I saw that game too because it was in my market too. I saw that game too. But Talent, honestly, man, if you're the Baltimore Ravens, that was a game you were supposed to lose. So, that was a game you were supposed to lose. You know what I mean?
You're so old school, man. Every game is in every market now. No, they definitely were supposed to lose that game, but kudos to the young man. I was like Mike when it came out with another quarterback and he was black. I was like, oh.
I was too. I said, oh, damn.
I looked at my dogs. He was on the couch. I was like, yo, we made it. We made it, son. I'm looking at my dogs. And my dogs ain't even black. They're gray. But they understood my plight. You know what I mean? This was definitely supposed to be a loss that turned into a win. So you got a few things clicking here. I like this because when you show that you have a real more than decent like backup quarterback who can come in there and contend, you make it hard for the homework guys. The guys that go home and plan the homework and they're planning for Lamar, and then you get up to the day he's not going to play the other guy. This guy, what he did yesterday, now he makes them, the next time he's in this situation, he makes them do a little bit of homework on him. That's respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. I can't even deny that, man. Everything you said is absolutely right, man. Mike already ready to laugh. Mike, what's your take?
You ever have something you want to say, but it's totally disrespectful, so I'm not going to say it. God bless Tyler Huntley for coming in as the backup quarterback because I applauded. I was so happy. But if you think it's hard to take Lamar Jackson at a press conference, you should have heard his press conference. They should have gave him closed caption. All right, listen, my bad.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I did? I pressed stop and rewind. What he say?
I was like, what?
Go ahead, Mike.
Wow.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I was cringing. I didn't know if he was the quarterback or he was a boxer. I didn't know. I was like, did you just go 12 rounds with Pacquiao? I was like, what?
No, but he did pull out the game, though. He did play good, man. The Ravens didn't expect that, man. The Ravens doing really good, man. So what's your take on the game that the Baltimore should have lost that game because Andy Dalton, he threw a bomb with 2 minutes left to go in the game and gave them the lead? What's your take on that, man?
No, the take is that the Baltimore Ravens are such a consistent organization that I'm never surprised, dog. I'm never surprised. Like, I really, really admire that. I'm telling you, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Patriots, those organizations just they're okay. Even when they have down seasons, they're still competitive. Yeah. And they always find a way to win. And they got those type of people leading their teams. Their head coaches are strong figures and they know what their team's about. And they know how they can pull it off. And listen, and nobody ever focuses on who the backup quarterback is. But in the league that has an extra game, and in a league where these quarterbacks are going down, you better make sure that your backup quarterback is more than just competent. It ain't just somebody you just throw in there. You better make sure it's somebody that you believe can start for your team for 4 or 5 weeks in a regular season.
That is the quote of the day because now the league has added an extra game. Your backup QB has got to be on point. Amir, talk to me about what your take is in Baltimore being able to win because again, let's be honest. I don't think anybody expected Baltimore. I know I didn't. I think I picked them to lose badly, to be honest with you. What was your take on this, man?
Well, I think, Baltimore, again, first of all season, they have seemingly found ways to win, and especially close games. Like if you've been watching them this year, and I've caught quite a few games, their thing seems to be this late surge for some reason. They all game they'll be looking terrible, and then somewhere midway through the third quarter, all of a sudden things start clicking, and they turn it on, which is kind of interesting. But I think that to the point that Mike just made, and the fact that we're looking at a league now where again you're talking about guys who have to constantly be ready. We never know who's going to go down. We see cats going down this year more so than any other time off of seemingly simple plays. There was a part in the Dallas game, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was a pass caught or a play where went out of bounds and his ankle rolled. I thought he might not come back off of that. So, there's just all these moments now where you're seeing players go down at any given moment. And those backup dudes, like I said, y'all making minimum or whatever, but you better be ready because they definitely going to look down the bench. Hey, it's your turn. Let's see what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because what Mike said is actually true. That additional game, you know what I mean? And then obviously keeping the preseason games intact and everything else, man, that's tough on the bodies on all those dudes for the whole season. But it's tough. Next topic, man, is Baker Mayfield's wife. First of all, the Browns edged out the Lions. Baker Mayfield's wife goes on Instagram and calls out the whole team's toughness and says, the team is not tough enough to be able to carry them to the playoffs. So, Talent, she said that. Where she get that information from? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the conversation?
That's pillow talk. First of all, that's pillow talk. Second of all,
it shouldn't have got to social media.
I know we added a game, you know what I mean? But the league, to me, should toughen up. And here's my thing. Early in the show, we mentioned exposing Dak in Dallas with all those blitz. There's no reason. The funny thing with me is, like, you go back to the 80s when linemen and everybody was fat people. Like, that's why the blitz was every now and then, because you couldn't afford to tire these guys out. We got a whole game. But now the average football player is way less fat, way more in shape. Work these Negroes. Blitz, blitz, blitz. But because we soft as a league, this is why we got all this stuff right here. Baker Mayfield, he gets hurt. Anytime to me a quarterback gets hurt on a play because the line came through, anything other than miraculous plays, like just something like busting through the line and sacking you or you hurt and falling the wrong way, damn well they're going to always blame the toughness of the line. The line was soft. The line was weak. How he get through? You need to learn how to block. So this dude is hurting in bed, mad because he on the L one night, probably got a little, white boys get a little whiskey. a little cigar or pipe, and she's like, "You all right, baby?" Hell no, I'm not all right. Soft ass team. That's all. Got out. You really think they soft? You see it?
Yeah, y'all.
Pillow talk, brother.
Hey, y'all. The show's called Box Seats. That's Talent talking to him, telling him how it really is. He ain't lying, Mike. He ain't lying. Because honestly, I think to the detriment of everybody is social media. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Baker Mayfield this morning is like, I can't believe you said that on Instagram, honey. Like, dang. Mike, what's your take on this?
If you can't control your household, how the hell you gonna tell me to audible off a play? Man, check your wife. How about that? How about you in the locker room talking about we got to do this? No, how about you tell your wife what she shouldn't do before you come in here? No, look, women, don't get mad at me. All right, get mad. Listen. You running your mouth to an organization that has the power to give me $30 to $35 million a year. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what, like, dog, like that. There's never such a thing as a time for any type of putting your hands on somebody at all. But you are allowed to smack a cell phone out of her hand. Just smack the cell phone out of her hand. Oh, you can't do this, Ma. You know the predicament that you're in right now, that she said the team is soft, and now you got to walk into the locker room and deal with it. Dog, man, listen, dog, I'd rather you find out I had a gay lover. Wait
a minute. If that's the funniest thing in the world, I'd rather you find out I got a gay lover. He's not gay. The lover is.
Lovers. And there's nothing wrong with being gay, y'all. Don't get the can. I'm saying in the NFL,
that's very funny.
In the NFL,
hilarious.
that is supposed to be more traumatic. But to me, right now, you don't put this guy in the worst situation ever. Now
I'm sorry.
He's got to apologize. He's got to apologize to a team now.
Yeah. To me, it is something funny about being gay and you in the NFL and you play tight end. I'm sorry.
I'm not playing with y'all.
Hey, what movie was that where the team just gave up on the quarterback, just let him get hit a few times for him to apologize?
Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx.
No,
was that
Jamie Foxx movie and the one with what you call it? They remade it. It's the one with Burt Reynolds. They remade Longest Yard.
Yeah.
There you go.
Lift that ass up.
So Amir, honestly, Baker Mayfield's wife makes that comment, everything else, but Baker Mayfield walks into the offices on Wednesday because the coaches go in tomorrow. The day off is today. The coaches do the review and game plan on Tuesday. Wednesday, the team comes in and they sit down and figure out what they're gonna do and everything else. Can you imagine what the thoughts and hell, what the comments are gonna be made in the team locker room for the Cleveland Browns? What's your take?
First off, y'all know his phone blew up immediately once the tweet hit. His phone started blowing up immediately. Son, really? That's what's going on in your crib? You can't control it. You ain't got no balls in there. What's going on, bro? So he was in trouble from that alone. But to your point, look, I get it. As the spouses of of a team and this and that and the third, you have to know that there were you bring that up maybe in coffee talk amongst the girls, but you most certainly don't bring that to the media and the way the world is set up now, because not only that, you put your guy in jeopardy also from other teams around the league who are now looking like, son, he don't got no heart. His wife runs everything. Now, all cats who are married say that. At least that's what I hear. So it is what it is. But I'm just saying, bro, you really putting this dude in a bad position. Linemen are now sacking you and whispering into your ear. That's for that tweet from your wife. It's crazy.
Any given Sunday about to happen for real.
They don't even say all that, man. They talking cold. Then, boom, look over, you go, tweet, nigga.
Facts. You know what the funny thing is that's the same thing that happened yesterday too, because I was gonna talk about that too. With Cam Newton game and everything else, and he screamed the week before last, he's really, I'm back. The crazy thing is, I don't know if you saw this article, y'all saw this article. One player was walking off we were overheard by the NBC reporter. One player turned to the other reporter and said, on Washington said, I thought he said he was really back. I was rolling. And they got picked up. It's all down in Washington right now. It's all up there. So the question to you is Cam really back? Tell it. Do you really think? Because honestly, they had the game. The defense couldn't hold them out. But is Cam back? And because he did throw some good passes and everything else, he looked good.
Yeah, I think he looks good to me. Again, just getting on the team again, got to recreate and get that click, so to speak, going again. I think the click is not all the way there, but just if you look at him as a quarterback and what he's doing, good pass ratio, running when he need to, long cut touchdown. That's Cam. We know Cam for that. So he's looking good, like full remnants of Cam. But again, like Michael Sean just said, the season's long. Test the time.
Yeah. It's 100% accurate on that, man. Mike Sean, Cam Newton, everything else. He got a running touchdown. He threw. He literally balled out yesterday. Pause. He did do his thing. I want to ask you, it was Cam Newton's season opener. Should we expect the Panthers to actually be back? Did we see something? Because Cam did something I haven't seen him do in a long time. He was throwing accurate passes yesterday. So I'm being honest. What you think?
Why you gonna take a shot at him? Then why you gonna take a shot then put my square up? Like what's that? How you gonna lower your square after you said that?
I'm sneaky. No, but what you say?
He's like, bop, go get him, Mike. He did fine. He did fine, Cam. Look, Cam Cam is Cam, and I thought he had a good game. You know, unfortunately, I am rooting for him. Like, I know everybody thinks I'm a Cam Newton hater. I want the guy to succeed. I wanted him to convert that 4th and 3. Like, I want him to win. He's just a flamboyant guy. Like, you know, when you have somebody like that in your locker room, and I'm not saying for bad or good, when you have somebody like that in your locker room and you're winning, it's a great thing to have. But it can rub people the wrong way when you're losing. Because some people start thinking that this is really about the show that you want to put on for you. So you know the camera is on you all the time. Now, that's been him his whole life. So this is not something that he's not a fraud about it. This is what he's done his whole life. It's like Michael Irvin has done, Deion Sanders has done. But it's always that careful balance of, if we start losing, does the team start turning again? And it's kind of some of the reasons why I think Belichick had to let him go, because his persona is just too. There's no way I can keep you as a backup quarterback when your persona is like that in the locker room. But if he makes the playoffs, if he gets the Panthers in the playoffs, he's got another big contract coming to him.
Yeah, it's actually an excellent point. I think he's playing for a contract too. I mean, what's your take on Cam Newton? Is he really back? Were you surprised at anything? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was surprised at the accurate passes. I wasn't surprised at the running touchdown. But I was surprised at the way he was playing. So in my market, I saw a lot of that in my market.
Well, his accurate passing yesterday was I don't think that was a surprise either. I think that mechanics and, you know, certain things come back to you. It's been a minute since he's really had the opportunity to go full throttle, totally be in control of the situation, and, you know, so forth and so on. Being up there in New England, we know Bill Belichick has a system that seemingly he just plucks players and he is able to put them in the system, and the system itself is so efficient and so effective that it just, you know, continues to work time and time again. A guy like Cam Newton, though, he needs to have some control of some of the things that go on in his world. And I think yesterday, you know, he had the opportunity to do that once again. And that's what we saw. To your point about the running touchdown, the one thing I thought about the running touchdown is he made it, but that wasn't the Cam that we've been used to seeing because of age and everything else. So he, you know, was able to scramble for it. But the old Cam, that would have been easy in, you know, 1, 2, 3. Yesterday, that was like a geriatric kind of run. I was like, oh shoot, wait a minute, he might not make it. He might run out of gas. So it was interesting.
You're saying he's losing his superpowers. I think
he had
a wedgie too. He had a wedgie. I tell you right there, you ain't got it the same way.
Hey, so before we roll them out of here, tell everybody out there about your weekend, man. I heard you guys got together, had a good weekend, man. Talk to me.
Oh man, shout out to Mike Sean, man, for holding me down Thursday with all the ladies, the female ladies night out show, and then he slam dunked it on Friday with myself, JP Justice, Fig Man. Shout out to comedian Fig. These guys came out and rep. Had a good time. So coming up is the holiday, Frank. Wednesday night, I'm in Staten Island with Mike Epps. And the rest of the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, y'all could catch me in Charlotte at the Comedy Zone, Charlotte, North Carolina, with my cousin Ed Lover. We're doing a 2 double headlining weekend. Let's get it.
God, that's what I'm talking about. Mike, tell everybody out there how they can follow you. And before you even do that, man, tell me what you thought about the weekend, man, from this weekend show.
Oh, weekend was dope. It was good to be back on the East Coast. Like, I got super love for Dallas. I super love for Dallas, Fort Worth area. But it's nothing like when you come back and the dudes that you started doing comedy with are on the same stage, and you get you already laughing before you hit the stage. Right. So it's almost like you going to the basketball court to play with your boys, and we all got love for each other, but nobody wants to be the person that doesn't do good.
Right.
Like nobody. So no, because people won't tell you straight up you didn't. So you go up there. There's like a second before you get on stage, you realize you were a little nervous again. You're like, damn, I ain't been nervous in a minute because I'm playing at Rucker Park again. That's why you're nervous.
Mike, we got to see Fig. We got a question for Fig. Fig ended on prostate. I want to know what's up. Fig ended, his last words was prostate. Me and Mike was like,
Fig ended on a prostate public service announcement. I said, classic. We are really grown right now, huh? That's what we doing.
Wow.
So Fig was hilarious. But yeah, at Mike Sean Comedy, check me out. Shout out to everybody who came out to the shows. And that's it. Just follow me. You'll see what's going on.
Amir was there too.
Yeah, I had a great time, man. It was nice to meet Mike Sean and everything, and the show was off the chain. My question, though, Frank, before we go, did you get a chance to see the one thing that we didn't talk about? Your two boy band groups battling on the AMAs last night. New Edition against New Kids on the Block.
Anyway,
Y'all ain't talk about that. Y'all gonna let him get out of here without talking about that.
I
You
missed
know
that.
Yo, I had heard about that and I ain't look into it. Yeah, I think we should do a whole segment tomorrow on it.
No. I heard about it.
I'll have the
purposely
music ready.
into it. Huh?
The music ready.
I'll have the music ready. Don't worry.
Hey y'all, the show's called Box Seats. I'm sure Rodney will be back and have a whole segment on that because I won't. I'm pretty sure. I ain't even gonna lie. He might even make it be like the Lakers versus the Celtics. With the, he might, You know what we didn't do? We didn't talk about the boxing match. I'm gonna see if we can squeeze that in tomorrow.
Yes.
Bud Crawford and Sean Porter. I wanted to talk. I really
that
tried to
travesty.
Yeah,
man.
but I'll let Rodney talk about that tomorrow. We'll figure that part out. And then Mike got to give his take on that too, because Mike is the boxing. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, oh my God.
Thank God I didn't pay for it. That's all I can say.
God. Not only did I pay for it, but you have to have ESPN Plus when you bought it. That was a scam. In order for you to get it, you had to have ESPN Plus.
Oh.
So you had to get the subscription for the year. So thank you to Sean Porter's trifling ass bastard dad. But go ahead. Never mind.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. He put him out there too. So anyway, y'all, that's the show. The show's called Box Seats. It's on the Humor Mill channel. Big will be back tomorrow. Obviously, thanks to Amir for sitting in. Roddy Perry should be back tomorrow. Of course, my man Business Bully should be back tomorrow. Also, prayers up to him and his family. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and continue on with what's going on. The show's called Box Seats. The channel's called Humor Mill. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.